So they
The podcast starts now.
Podcast starts now.
No more science talk. Confuses me.
well, I did have a simulation thing to say.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Because I've heard this idea that if we are in a simulation and it is sort of like a video game,
Yeah.
that like okay, so like when you're in a video game and you're like walking through the mountains of the video game,
Yeah.
and then you turn around, whatever you were just looking at disappears. The video game doesn't make that anymore because
Right.
it doesn't need to because you're not looking at it. So if we were in a simulation, photons would act different. So in the video game, the pixels are acting different because you're not looking at it.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't need to function a certain way. It just needs to be like, okay, I threw a rock behind me. We need to register that it behaved in a certain way. So when he turns around, the rock's in a certain spot, but we
That
don't
is
need to
kinda
like
weird.
sort of like do the thing of it landing over there. And so if we are in a simulation, that's
kind of proving it, the photon thing.
I guess, at least people online
Yes,
find
yes.
a parallel
Yeah.
between the two.
It's too much for me. I'm just going to ignore it, and I'm going to go back onto Instagram.
It is kind of
I'm
like,
going to look at memes. I'm just going to forget I learned that. It's easier that
That's
way.
why I don't wipe my butt.
Why? Oh,
Because if I
you're
don't
not
observe
looking at
it, it's fine.
There you go. You just
assume it's fine.
You just disproved the theory.
But nobody wants to sit next to me on the bus, so I don't know what that proves.
Because you just never wipe it ever or wash it or anything?
No, I don't wipe.
pretty
Wiping's
gross.
for losers. And also, you know how much the average American spends on toilet paper per year?
Oh, it's
$28,000.
really.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
$28,000 a year?
If you eat at Taco Bell, it's $34,000 a year.
Okay, if you say so.
That's okay. So that's the
Wait,
podcast.
who's our guest? We haven't even introduced our
ladies
guest.
and gentlemen,
Oh,
welcome.
wait, I'm excited to meet this person.
Yeah, welcome
really
to the
cool.
show.
Are they here?
Our guest on this the new World Record podcast, we have Nick Vatterott, the great
Thank you very much.
Nick Vatterott.
So many people are packed inside this space. All those applause.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
we've got like 100 people, live studio audience. About
Yeah.
150 people
We're
here.
in the old At Midnight studios. Did you ever do At Midnight?
No, you used to do At Midnight, right?
I did it a few times.
You used to do warm up.
I did. I wound up
right.
doing warm up.
I was
Randy.
working on some project, and we were on the same lot one time.
Right, yeah. Comedy Central had all their stuff. I think we were probably right across the street from each other there.
We were working on Gore Burger. That's
Gore
right.
Burger.
And you were
Gore
working at
Burger.
Midnight.
That sounds so familiar.
It was TJ Miller's. It wasn't a cartoon. It was like a big Muppet guy,
giant
right?
Muppet. The bit was he was from outer space and he came to eat everybody, but then like kind of got really into interviewing indie rock people.
Okay.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And it was so he took over a Japanese talk show and interviewed rock stars, and he was from outer space. And I think there was 12 more layers to it on top
Yeah.
of that. It was pretty fun.
I don't remember it too well. I know I have some stickers. I cleaned out a desk drawer and there was Gore Burger stickers in there.
Gore Burger.
It was fun. How was working on At Midnight? You guys got to do, because I remember like talking to you about you doing warm up, and I feel like you were like we did like crazy bits, or you guys didn't do typical warm up. I assume.
You guys were so silly. I went to a few tapings. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they dressed, they matched.
Yeah,
him and Randy.
we were the Penis Twins was our name. Leon and Dion Penis.
And so they both had like the same wig on and
Blonde wigs, sunglasses,
Button-ups.
button-up blue shirt with khakis and matching sneakers. Who does warm up for you? Work for Bill Maher.
Right. Real Time with Bill Maher. Billy Martin, head writer.
Okay.
A Boston comic from the Bill Burr era. He does warm ups.
So we had, on the show when we were working, it's like our office was like right above the stage, and there was a warm up guy who, he was good. I mean, yeah, it's definitely his material was a little dated. Like he kind of had some like slightly homophobic, where he'd be like, "Oh, are you?" Like there'd be two guys sitting together and be like, "Oh, so you two are dating or whatever," and like. 2 out of 5 times they'd be like,
Yes.
"Yeah, we are," and he's like, "Oh, that's great."
I love the warm up comic who every joke is, yeah, you know. Oh, what are you from Africa? Yes, I am. I've gotten here from a week ago. Oh, okay.
Oops.
What are these?
What are you guys, photons going through two different slits at the same time? But he was fine. You know, he was a good warm-up guy or whatever. But we heard his act every day, and then he would do warm-up for a sitcom, which I think pays like insane, like a network sitcom. So he would like kind of be like, oh, I'm not, like he wouldn't do it for a couple weeks because they were shooting whatever show he did warm up on, and they would get replacement guys. So we asked the producers, we were like, can we do, like next time he takes a break, can we do it? And they were like, yeah, sure. So, and then it kind of turned into a steady gig, which was great because it was a little extra money on top of the money we were already making. And yeah, it was just like, we would do...
You'd like throw grapes into each other's mouths. I don't know what, like you guys were just silly. It set a good tone because this show's pretty goofy.
So we would play this music and get like throw grapes into each other's mouths, but keep moving further and further apart from each other to where like by the end, like I was in the back row of the audience and Randy was like all the way upstage. And yeah, we'd be throwing grapes into each other's mouths.
That was so long ago, wasn't it?
It was 2016.
See, that's fun comedy. That's the type of comedy I love.
Yeah, you're very silly. We did. No, go ahead.
I just feel like comedy gets so narrow. I mean, even the Africa thing, as I'm like, why did I pick Africa for that example? But I do remember there was a comic in New York, and this woman was wearing like an African garb, and he was like, "Are you from Africa?" And she said yes. And it was like that type of like bust your ball comedy.
Yeah,
is very there's just so much. You can throw grapes also.
Yeah,
you know, you can do silly. I love silly. I think people like silly.
I like silly too. I do feel like my whole comedy career was like, I don't know, I didn't really stay true to myself with like, you've always been very silly and just doing like these outside kind of bits, but then like once I started working the road, I was kind of a chicken shit and was like, I just kind of want to, I don't know, I just didn't have the guts to just be like, I'm going to do something crazy experimental and have 90% of the audience not dig it.
I mean, it's
well, you wouldn't have been able to get really much work, I think, if you really did do that on the road, right? Don't you think people would be like, no, we're not going to book you again?
I don't know. I mean, I think the club owners, like if they got what you're doing, they'd be like, oh yeah, this guy's great. We'll just, pair him with, we won't have him with, the Southern hillbilly jackhammer or whatever, like weird pairings that you get on the road.
But it's such a specific, like Ron Lynch is a fantastic comic who has always stayed true to himself. And I've talked to him and he was like, he's like, I would never do the road because he would have to like compromise what he did. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, you get booked in some Midwest town that's just hardworking people that they're, because like I think the stuff that we like, I think it comes a little bit out of all the comedy we watch. Yeah, and we're sort of like there might be a little bit of making fun of some tropes in comedy, or like it's almost like I don't know. I think some people are just like, I don't want to see your outside. I just want to hear you make fun of how work sucks. And relationships are tough and tough. I mean, and then go home because I don't have time for that.
Yeah. We didn't come here to see a play or an art piece. Yeah,
you could do that here, though. People do all kinds of stuff here, all kinds of shows.
Well, I think starting in New York or LA or someplace a little more, I don't know. I just wanted to get on the road, and then working out of Austin was like a lot of Southern stuff. And the atmosphere in a lot of these clubs was just kind of like rowdy, drunk. Like, hey, we just want to have fun, tell some dirty jokes, and make fun of a guy. Like, anytime... That's something I always hated was, you're on stage and somebody's like talking or whatever, and you just kind of politely say like, hey, could you shut up or whatever? Like, and then the audience is like, ooh, here we go. Here we go. He's going to destroy that lady. And I'm like, I don't want to destroy, like, if you're just don't talk, like don't have a full on conversation in the front row. Yeah. But then once you tell, somebody not to do that, then they get all indignant. Well, I'm not. I'm just talking about how funny you are.
I know.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's like when people are always like heckling. It's oftentimes it's not like boo. It's just like they're trying to tell you something while you're talking about,
or they're just drunk.
Else.
I mean, that's generally what it is. It's just drunk people being drunk.
But I think like okay, so like I remember like I had this album that I did for amusement only, and on it was like I did like this director's commentary. Live director's commentary as it was going on, you know?
Yeah.
So I would do a joke that I know wouldn't do well, and then I would play this pre-recorded thing that would be like, well, that joke never does well, but I did, you know, and it was just...
that's funny.
And I was like, well, I'm going to go, and I got my agents to book me this tour, and I don't know, I thought they would book me at like all the Largos and UCB whiplashes of the United States, and it's like, once you get out of, you know, I was in these like, you know, town. I was like in Charlotte, and just like nobody at that show wanted to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember just like being like, I'm gonna do 10 minutes of what I want to do at the top. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to shift gears just so we're not all miserable for an hour. But I'm going to try it at least.
Yeah.
And I remember Comedy Zone specifically in Charlotte, going out there and just doing my thing and just eating shit for 10 minutes, just really just being, it was ugly. And then just being like, you know, I flew here and boy, I tell you about these airplanes, and then just crushed with airplane stuff, and then just leaving, just feeling so bad, you know, feeling like, well, but what am I supposed to do? You know, like I made the show work. I did what I wanted to do. I you know, but I just felt bad about myself for not do yet. I don't know. I feel the same way as you did, you know, like you gotta, I don't like the idea of like, I walked the whole audience. You know? I mean, I don't know.
Wait, what's that mean?
I mean, I think
make everybody leave because they hate you so much.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, like as a point of pride. Oh, like take them out to pee?
Yeah, I was like, oh, you're taking them out for a walk like they liked it. I don't know.
You know what's funny?
No, you don't want everybody to leave. That's not the point.
I walked a homeless guy once in New York, and that always killed me. It was like raining outside.
You walked him?
Yeah, and he like came in. He looked at me, and I did. So he's like, I'd rather just back to the puddles, you know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was pretty. I'd rather just be cold and miserable. Listen to this alternative comedy act that's happening in the back of Grizzly Pear.
I like alternative comedy. Who doesn't? You don't want to see, you don't want to see the same stand-up show over and over again. They're just kind of boring. I mean, what else is there to talk about?
Hey, can this be my special?
Yeah.
Can I just...
Here, we can start off. I'll give you an intro.
Sure.
Yeah, great.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This is, I'll be your MC for the evening. We're doing a special, so everybody, you know, just like, no, none of that.
Come on, no, we can't boo here.
And that's the other. Well, first, to warm up the crowd, we're going to have the burlesque comedy stylings of
how are we going to do burlesque?
A-Train.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so she does clubs and strip clubs and colleges and stuff all around the country. So welcome to the stage, Hellman, the A-Train burlesque comedian.
Hey guys. Speaking of airplanes, what's up with the airplane food? It tastes like shit, and guess what? Now they don't even give it to you anymore. What the fuck's up with that? All right, give it up for our headlining comedian. His name's Nick Vatterott. Stay after the show. I'll be doing a spicy XXX burlesque show. No nudity.
No nudity. Lots of
fully clothed. Don't basically
put it on. Put it on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the A-Train. Hellman. All right, we can stop her music. Thank you very much. So are you guys ready for your headliner?
Woo! Yeah!
Well, all the way from Charlotte.
Audience.
He was from Charlotte, North Carolina. He just did some shows, and he has an album out. What's the album called again?
It's called Too Many Specials.
Too Many Specials. So put your hands together for... Wait.
Sir, you need to sit down.
Sir, you need to sit down. Yeah, guys, listen, this is not the kind of audience... Guys, sir, please stop. Now we're... All right, what's going on over there?
My fans are...
Someone's getting slurred.
Okay, there we go, everybody.
This is the early show.
Okay, so get this guy out of here.
Dad? You know, I always leave a ticket out hoping he comes to a show. And then I stop doing that because he started coming to shows.
And yells.
He yells.
All right, so here's Nick Vatterott doing his famous Charlotte routine that nobody liked. Okay, take it away.
Hey, boy, Charlotte, this is great. Boy, hey, where's the web?
Woo!
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Like Charlotte's Web.
No, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man. Spider-Man. That takes place in Charlotte, doesn't it? That movie.
Yeah. He's talking about Spider-Man up in this joint.
Wow. Boy, you know, Spider-Man really contingent on being in a city with buildings. Can't do, you can't. Spider-Man can't do a lot. There's nothing to swing on.
He can only save lives in New York City.
Yeah,
or the woods.
That's pretty much it.
That's it.
He could shoot webs on trees.
Oh yeah,
which I've done before when I had sex with a tree.
Yeah. And my special, the audience has more jokes than I do.
Yeah. That's people are just chiming in. I had sex with a tree.
It's more of a conversation. You had sex with a tree.
Yeah, it was. There was a big old knot hole.
Oh.
And,
did you put anything in it, like use sap or?
I used sap as lube, and it actually tore my penis apart.
Oh, wow.
You used sap.
Spider-Man had sex with a tree once, and that's how he got his powers. A spider bit his penis when it was in the tree hole.
No, a spider went into the hole. His hole.
Oh yeah, spider crawl. Did you ever hear about those fish that swim up your pee hole?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Where?
There should be a superhero made out of that.
You're right.
He's got fish powers. His dick is a fish.
Yeah, I think we heard him yelling at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a fish had just gone up his hole. Wait, what are you talking about? Fish that goes in your hole?
Yeah.
There's a fish that swims up your pee hole.
Oh, like in the Amazon or something?
Always
Probably in the Amazon. Yeah, that's why they.
That's where the piranhas and shit
And you can
are.
order those on Amazon too if you want to try it
Penis
out at home.
fish? Dick hole fish?
Fish that swim
So
up
what's
your...
the point there? It goes in there, feels good? Or kind of latches on in there?
I don't know what happens there. It can't be good. Oh, wait. It says the idea of a fish swimming up your... Now, this is the AI overview.
What does he say?
Well, AI says that it's a myth. The kangaroo, a small parasitic catfish native to the Amazon, is often
Amazon,
associated.
baby.
But now here's regular Google. The kangaroo, sometimes known as the penis fish,
Is real.
is a small Amazonian catfish. It's reported to lodge itself in the urethra of people who may be urinating in the water.
Oh, yes. Yes, you don't pee because it'll swim up at your hole.
You need those in your swimming pool.
Yes. Yeah, I would keep people from peeing in my pool. One time I peed in a pool, but I had been taking UTI medication, like this Azo pills. It like helps with UTI pain, but then it turns your pee like bright orange.
So everybody saw your piss?
Well, I peed in the pool, and then I was like, ah! And I was like swishing it around. I was nannying though, so the kids didn't care, but I was like, oh shit. I was trying to be all sly about it. But it was like bright orange. And there was kind of a mystery chemical that sometimes my friends would be like, oh yeah, my mom put this in the pool.
Exists, yeah.
Or if you pee, it'll like turn purple.
Right.
Yeah. Also, it's like, you know what? I'm all about, let's destigmatize peeing in the pool.
No.
Everybody does
don't pee
it.
in the pool.
What? Why? It's so diluted. It's so diluted. There's hundreds of gallons of water, and you pee like what?
It's
this
still,
much? Like 4 ounces?
If you have AIDS or something.
You can get AIDS from peeing in a pool.
I don't know.
It's really impossible
to not
pee in the pool when you're pooping in the pool. It's like it's really
It's
hard.
funny
because
when you poop, you do pee a little bit. So that's true.
It's impossible.
It's
I don't
impossible
know.
to poop without peeing.
I don't think peeing in the pool is that big of a deal. If I had a pool and my friend's kids came over,
Thank you for calling Burbank. For store
like-
hours and location, press 1.
What store is
To
this?
speak with an
It's a pool
in-store
place.
customer service representative,
Leslie's?
press 2.
No, I don't know. Don't say any names though, because
well, you ever heard of Leslie's Pool Supply?
no,
All right. Well, I used
I don't
to go
think
there
you're
all
allowed
the
to
time.
say Leslie anymore. Hello. Hey, I was calling about. How are you doing? Happy holidays.
You too.
We like to say Merry Christmas, but we'll say Happy Holidays
We
too.
could say Merry Christmas or whatever.
Exactly.
We were calling about. So, what you sell pool supplies or whatever?
Yes.
Now, is there a actual chemical that we can put in our pool to prevent people from peeing in it?
Oh no, we don't have that kind of chemical.
So, like, if I were to pee in the pool, it would turn my pee purple.
No. There is. We don't have that kind of.
Does that exist, or is that just a myth?
I think it's more like a myth because we have like maybe almost 5,000 chemicals. Like it's like there's nothing like that. There is nothing specifically for that reason.
To make your pee turn? No. So there is no chemical. So that's
I think there is a movie,
Wow.
but the people start to think about like those real chemicals can happen.
yeah. Now, is there a chemical that can turn your poop a different color if you do that in the pool?
No. I don't know any of those, but I have 23 years of experience. So.
Is it okay to poop in the pool? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, right?
Because there's like 10,000.
It's not okay. It's not okay. It's gonna mix with the water and it's gonna filter it. It's gonna filter your filtration if it's good size filter there. It's gonna filter it. Only thing is like it's bacteria. You need to put a little bit acid and so disinfect.
There, see, all you got to do is put a little acid in there.
And are you talking about LSD style acid? So everybody starts tripping balls?
Muriatic acid. It's specific for the pool.
Okay.
Peeing in the pool is not a big deal, right?
It's not recommended.
See, I
It's
told you.
not
I'm telling her.
recommended, but it's not like, the end of the world. Did you pee
It's
in
not the end of
pools?
the world, but still, I used to.
Exactly.
So we got this guy, and we pooped in the pool, and he says we got to throw out the whole pool. Is this guy pulling my leg?
Honestly, you don't need to do that, but it's up to you. Some
We ripped about half of it out already.
Well, what if we fill up a pool? Now, here's an idea. What if we filled up a pool with Dr. Pepper? So then when you poop in it, you don't really see it. And I hear Dr. Pepper kills germs.
honestly, sir, I don't know. This kind of questions you guys are asking.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Do you have a pool that's more deep than wide? I want like a tube just to kind of...
Yeah, a pool that's
Like
more deep
2
than
foot,
wide.
3 feet wide and maybe 8 feet deep.
What's the smallest, deepest pool we could get? Just so we could just
Like 1
fit
square
our body in and go all the way down 20 feet to the bottom. 4 feet, 3 feet wide.
Like 3 foot diameter, 20 feet
Yeah, I
deep.
think
20 feet deep.
There's plastic pools 3 feet deep. Yeah.
It's like a well. We'd essentially be making a well.
Oh.
So then maybe it's not a pool anymore.
What's the cutoff between what differentiates a well from a pool? What's the width? Because we want it to be a pool. We don't want it to be a well. We don't want some baby Jessica stuff happening.
Sir, honestly, all these questions, I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
What do you
I
feel?
get it.
How do you feel? Have you heard about natural pools? Have you heard of that?
what do you mean natural pools?
It's essentially it's like a pond, but you could swim in it like a pool. But there's no chlorine, there's no filtration. It's something about the water.
In this part, in this area, is not popular. So here is usually people have in-ground pools. That one is more. I feel like it's mountains, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have that. Yeah. So
I saw a sign. It said, "Welcome to our ool. There is no pee in our pool. Let's keep it that way." Is this the sort of comedy you think that would play in Charlotte?
there is lots of funny signs. I have one sign. It says, we don't soak in your toilet. Don't pee in our spa.
Okay, yeah.
See, that's so different. It's apples and oranges. Toilets and hot tubs are apples and oranges.
Now, what if can frogs live in a pool?
They cannot live, but sometimes the frogs go in pool.
They could hang out around the pool.
Beta fish, maybe.
I don't know. The chlorine might kill fish, right?
Guys, I don't see you guys have a.
I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you. We're crazy. I forgot to tell you
We're
that.
calling you from a psychiatric
We're crazy.
hospital.
Yeah, we're 3 crazy people, and we got access to a phone. We shouldn't have it.
Guys, like now after today, it's like I'm gonna have a thing to remind me, and so I have a smile on my face. So.
Well, that's
good.
Great. I'm
We
glad
like
that
to
we
hear that.
could supply you with that. And would you like to hear a Christmas carol or anything?
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, and have
we
great
wish
holidays.
you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a
And we
Merry
love you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we
And
thank
a
you for
Happy
talking
New
to us.
Year.
And we wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We
and a
Happy New Oh, it's me,
Okay.
Santa. Oh,
That's thank you so much, sir. We love you. Merry Christmas. Thank you, and goodbye.
We had him till
He liked it.
till he liked us.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we lost him after.
yeah. Then they kind of just go along with whatever. But
is-
sometimes people are cool. Yeah.
They seem to I feel like a lot of your prank phone calls end in love.
I don't really like annoying people. Well,
Some
I
people
guess
we do like to annoy. Car
dealerships,
Yeah.
those guys are generally, because I feel like
the
they
limo
annoy
place,
people.
they're pretty fun.
Limo guy. I mean, there are certain people who answer the phone already kind
Annoyed.
of locked and loaded.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking, I think in the past I've sort of been like, well, I only want to prank people who deserve it. But now I'm sort of like, this person probably cut me off on the highway at some point. Everyone probably deserves it to a point.
Yeah. I remember there was I went to a drag show. I used to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I'd go to Mickey's in West Hollywood with my 2 gay friends, and they would set up chairs around the runway, and you'd watch the episode, and then they'd do a drag show. And I was sitting there with my friend Bruce, and there was this big, heavy guy who sits in the front. Like, we're kind of facing the runway, and he sits on the side, like in a plastic chair. We're just talking whatever, and we hear this boom, and we look, and he broke the chair, like he fell. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Like, that's so embarrassing. And my friend Bruce was like, maybe he deserved it. I was like, what? And then later in the show, he was being so rude to the performers and was like obviously drunk and annoying. And I was like, he did deserve it. That motherfucker did deserve it. But it was funny. My friend Bruce is funny. He deserved it.
Are you a prank? Do you like pranks?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to get back into it.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the past year I started making fun. Like the pranks now, like a guy goes up and slaps somebody in the back of the head, and like, you got pranked. And, it's like,
And the guy's like, oh, they're like chasing each other. It's so obviously like not real.
right.
We should start a fake prank channel because
God,
that's
it's
I feel
just
like
awful.
we just got to hire a couple teenagers and we'll be the guys that get pranked
Right.
because
Yeah.
we look old. We look older even though we're both in our 20s.
And then it's like you overlay it with like all the like
Boing,
Looney
boing, boing,
Tune
boing.
sounds. Yeah.
We did. I did what was CJ Sullivan like last summer. We made a video. I go up and it was like stab prank, and I just run up and I just start stabbing him.
Yeah.
And he's like, we got fake blood and everything. And then I point at the camera. And he's like, and he's like, I'm really in a lot of
Stab
pain here."
prank. I mean, that's where it's going. That's where it's going. I mean, they're going to keep pushing the ante or pushing the limit, upping the ante, and then it's going to become violent. People are going to get actually hurt.
pushing the limits and upping the ante.
Fireworks, we could like
Set off
light
a firework
fireworks and like throw it at people.
in a church.
Yeah, prank him.
yeah, prank them. They're not going to know what hit them.
I think a lot of people, they don't understand how to be funny.
Yeah, well,
No.
that's
You know, or how to have fun. I remember, like, it's Philadelphia.
Yeah.
When Philly won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They had to grease the poles
Right.
and everything. Because
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
people don't. There was that guy eating horse shit.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
I remember
yeah.
it's like they don't know
What?
What do we do? I don't know. Do something insane.
Yeah, be
Flip
crazy.
over a car. It's
Yeah.
like, why?
It's like right.
Just go hang out with your friends or something. Why are you being so destructive?
Put on a banana costume. I
Yeah,
don't know,
be
or-
silly. Show your butt.
There's
Flash
a
people
lot
your
of just
butt.
yeah. I feel like a lot
Someone
of
was
pent
eating
up. A
horse
guy
poop?
ate a thing of horse poop and like off the ground. I think I don't know, just to be crazy. And I mean, I've been in that frame of mind. Like I've never eaten any poop, but you know, I mean, I grew up in Philadelphia too, so maybe
That's
it's a
why.
But it's just like sometimes you're just like, you know, the energy. You're hanging out with a bunch of friends, and everybody's just kind of like acting crazy, and you're just like, what's the craziest thing I can do right now? Oh, I know. I'll like pull down my pants and run down the street or something,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I've grown out of that because I have a micro penis. So I didn't realize that's why people were laughing at me. I just thought it was
He thought
funny.
you were in on the
Really funny
joke.
bit.
I thought they were looking at my butt. I didn't even think that they would be looking at my micro penis.
That thing is small.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if I told you, I sell really tiny quarters.
What?
So when you send dick, it's for people with micro penises, and they want to, you want to send a dick pic to someone. I sell you this. You put it next to a really tiny quarter.
Oh.
So it looks huge.
Wait, do people do that? They use quarters to show how long their
Any
penis
dick
is?
pic I've ever gotten, I always bring
There's
this.
quarters. There's always quarters.
I put it next to quarters. I know what I'm getting into. Over
You have a special quarter that you use.
Quarters. It's like, what are you going to do with little quarters?
You should
Oh.
use a dime. Well, no, never mind. I guess a quarter is better.
Yeah, but
because quarter-
shrunk down to a dime size so then it
Even
tricks them.
smaller.
dime-sized quarter. There's a lot of market for dime-sized quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should call a place and see if they want to buy that.
Okay.
No, that's fine. I don't want to talk
Do
about
it, do it.
penises.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, that's the like, these are, I guess, crank calls, but I don't know. I feel like I've shifted. I never had like a mean spirit. Like I never was like, I'm going to call this person to ruin their day.
Some people, it just happens that way, but we don't feel bad about it. Like we could call the limo guy, see if he's there.
We could call a limo company. Yeah, let's just see, just to,
You know,
I mean, now I feel like we're going into it to kind of wind somebody
Yeah,
up.
you're right.
What
You're
about,
right.
like-
Well, it's fun.
what about pranking the audience? You know, because I'm trying to.
Yeah.
He's done that.
You know what's funny? It's like before I got into comedy.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have thank goodness I had, like, once I got into comedy, I stopped getting arrested. I stopped, you know, like.
Yeah.
Wait, you used to get arrested?
all the time.
Are you serious?
What were you doing?
What did you do?
Hijinks, you know, shenanigans.
See, you're a prankster then.
Some tomfoolery. Yeah, I pranked a guy. Pranked a gun onto a guy, right? And I go, hey, I'm not going to shoot you. And then I pranked him. I shot him.
Oh.
right in
Oh
the
my
knee.
God.
Yeah, it was a prank. 'Cause it was not what I said it was going to happen.
Right. He was laughing.
A lot of, you know, it's a lot of drinking and smoking weed and
Yeah.
driving.
But did you really? Oh, you got DUIs or something?
let's see. I need to like figure out all the time because I think I've gotten arrested like 8 times.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to jail?
I went
Like,
to
do you
like holding
always go to
cells.
jail? Yeah, but that's
I've been
not.
in a
that's,
couple holding cells.
But that's not like jail.
No.
It
no,
looks
you're not
like
Riz-
jail.
I've been going to
Right.
like, you know, but I was like, okay, so New Year, like for instance, here's one, New Year's Eve, right? New Year's Eve, 1999. Oh, this is a perfect example of like, so 1999, you got to go crazy, right?
Right.
You
Right.
Oh
don't
yeah,
know what to
Y2K.
do.
Yeah.
Right, and so we were in Columbia, Missouri, going to college at Mizzou, University of Missouri, where we found this package in St. Louis where it's like, you know, for whatever amount of money, it was like all you can drink, and there was a band and a champagne fountain, and so and you got to stay in this hotel, so we wouldn't be driving. That was the whole point,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so we go down there, and we got so drunk. Champagne fountain, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
and then we go to the hotel, and it's like, well, it's 1999. This is what Prince has been singing about our entire lives. You know, this is the
Yeah.
craziest night of our lives. And I remember me and my buddy were like, well, what do we got to do? Sort of like, Well, we ran naked down the hallway because we
Right.
just didn't know, there was no shit to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if there
yeah.
was shit to eat, we would have, but we were inside. There's no horses inside.
Right, yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah,
This is
okay.
why we need horses inside. It's a whole other tangent. But so, and then we we got in trouble for, someone saw us and then they asked us to leave and then the cops, and then they're like, you need to drive. The cops showed up and they were like, you need to get in your cars and go.
While you're so
We're
drunk
so
and naked.
hammered. We're like, this is a trap, you know? And they were, and we just kind of argued with them and they were like, no, you need to go to your room, get your stuff, and you guys need to drive right now. I remember
man.
walking away, taking 10 steps and being like, and turning around being like, but we can't, that's it. They arrested me, threw me in the cop car and
Naked.
Because you didn't want to drive.
we had put a couple garments on by this
Right,
point because
yeah.
we got called down. Yeah, because we didn't want to drive. That was the whole thing. And then I had I remember I was in the car and I remember going, oh shit, there's a joint in my front breast pocket. And I couldn't get to it. I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get it with my neck and chin and trying to get upside down on the back of the cop car.
Yeah.
So they found it.
Yeah.
And so it was disturbing the peace. It was marijuana possession. And I remember they put me in a holding cell with a guy and he was passed out on the cot with his head just bashed open.
Oh,
my
shit.
God.
Blood's, peering all over and stuff. That's how I came into the new millennium.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's pretty
stuff like
hardcore.
that. Yeah.
You never got arrested for that, being. You would get pretty drunk though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
when
used to
you
get pretty drunk.
but when you drink, you're not this is what Brendan hasn't been drinking. And I almost want him to start drinking again because when he drinks, he's happy and nice.
Yeah.
He's not crazy and wild or angry,
I
get crazy. I used to get crazy and wild sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you would just get really drunk and just annoying where it's will you just shut up and go to sleep? Stop.
I do love an intervention to
Where
get
it's
someone to get back
please
into
get-
drinking.
Yeah.
We missed that sweet.
You were
know?
so nice. I could tell because you're texting me nice things. I'm like, oh, he's had a couple of drinks. He sleeps on the couch. The next day we get to order in breakfast.
I've literally
I get to-
had the same conversation with the girl that I'm dating. So she's like,
She says the same thing to
yeah,
you.
she's like, when you drink, you can get really sweet.
Yeah.
Why don't you say those sweet things? She's like, why do you never sing to me when you're sober? I'm like, well, come on, because that's the point of drinking. Drinking is you get drunk and you start. Why do you never sing sea shanties when you're sober?
For the full uncut episode, head to patreon.com/World Record Podcast. For the full uncut episode, head to patreon.com/World Record Podcast. Patreon.com/World Record Podcast.